Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to make macros easy. Macros may sound like a very daunting and intimidating task to take on, but it's actually a very easy way of automating your data and making your formatting or any changes to your workbook very easy, consistent, and streamlined. Let's get started. So the first thing that we'll want to do is make sure that we have the developer tab. And you may already have it if you were watching my other video on how to insert a task list. But if you don't, let's go to the home tab, right click, customize your ribbon. In here, under customize ribbon, scroll all the way down to developer. If it's unchecked, make sure you check that and press OK. Once you have that done, you'll see the developer tab in your toolbar. Once we're in our developer tab, you'll see up here we have the macro options. Let's say all you want to be doing is creating a format for your header that matches your branding or matches the style that you want to be replicated throughout the rest of the document. And it won't be just for this particular document, but it would be happening for many different other files in the future as well. What you'll want to do is actually open up a new workbook. And this is where we're going to save your macros. Let's create a new file. So now that we have a new file open, let's save this as our macros workbook. So we can save as by hitting our function 12 key, name it macros workbook. And when we go here, we want to make sure that it's an Excel macro enabled workbook. So we can select this, save, and now we have a new macros workbook. So once we're in the developer tab, we can see that there is a record macro button. The record macros button will allow you to record any changes that you want made in a specific cell. So it could be a matter of adding text, it could be a matter of formatting, alignment, highlighting, text changes, size, and so much more. For now, we're going to do a header style. So let's go ahead and click this record macros button. Once you click the record macros button, this pop-up box will show up. It's going to ask you to name your macro. So let's name it header. Also going to give it a shortcut. So it's always going to include the control key. It's going to be either a number or it's going to be a letter. It could also be a capital letter. And when you do a capital letter, you hit shift in that letter and you'll notice that it's actually including the shift as part of the shortcut. The only thing to know is that you can only use one letter or one number at a single time. So let's go with Control H as our header, just to practice for now. I want to store my macro in this workbook. I don't want to create a new workbook. And I'm going to say it's going to be a bold blue, size 16, underline, cell, color light blue. So this is just for your reference that when you look back at all your macros, you're able to understand which macro represents what action. Once you're done, you can press OK. And now it is recording. In order to stop recording, you just press that button. Before we stop recording, we're going to want to do exactly what we want. So I'm going to the home tab. I did say it was going to be bold. I said it was going to be a size 16. I also said that it was going to be a blue text. And I want it to be a light blue background, cell color. And I also said it was going to be underlined. So now that that is done, I'm going to go back to my developer tab, stop recording. Now, you won't notice anything is quite different yet. We're going to save this, and let's say I type in something. I come here and I hit my macro keyboard shortcut, which was Control H. That automatically changed everything all at once to the exact same formatting that I had done in my recording. Only thing that you need to keep in mind is once you hit a macro, you cannot undo an action. If you want to clear the formatting, you have to manually come here and manually clear all of the formatting that you had set earlier. We want to also make sure that this macro workbook opens up every single time that we open up Excel so that this format and this macro is available to us every single time in any workbook. If it's not open in the background, then it won't be able to apply this macro to any of the options that you have selected. So what you're going to want to do is go to your View tab, and you're going to want to hide this workbook because you don't always want to see it, but you always want it to be there. So we're going to hide, and once we're here, we can actually apply our macro to this workbook. Now let's say I want to pull up this macros book and edit the macro. So what I can do is go to my View tab, unhide workbook, unhide my macros workbook. It's okay. And here, what we can do is go to the developer, click on the macros button here, which is where we can view all of our macros. And you'll see that I have my single header macro here. Now, let's say I want to edit my macro. I can go to options once I have it highlighted. Here, I can either change the shortcut key or I can change the description. It's okay. And let's say I want to now edit the way that the macro is showing up. I can come here. And let's say I no longer want it to be a bigger size, but I just want to keep it the same size that it's going to be every single time. Erase that. Now, when I come here with an unformatted cell, I can hit Control H and it no longer changes the size of my text. And just like that, you've been able to automate a very repetitive task that you would otherwise have to do over and over and over again in all of your workbooks, especially if you're going to be consistent in your branding. I hope that you found this video helpful and that it was very useful for you. If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.